Hi, I have a very special guest with me today. This is Ron Williams, who is one of only a handful of people to have run every single Chicago Marathon, which is really an incredible accomplishment. So Ron, let me start by asking you, how did you get started with running?
Um, well, when I was 28, I was putting on weight, and I figured I better do some exercise. My neighbor got me started, and we got worked up to 6 miles. This was in 1967, and then he dropped out, and I ran in the Chicago Distance Classic, which was a 10-mile race, and then I think the first marathon was in 1977, a year after the 10-mile race. So that's when I got started.
Mhm.
I blame my neighbor. I still, whenever I see him, I say, "You stuck me with this
And
thing
it's
I have
a common theme. It's peer pressure gets people into running.
now."
And so a lot of that time you've been involved with team and training, and you've done an incredible amount of fundraising for team and training. How did you get involved with that
Well,
organization?
yeah, it was my niece's son was 4 years old, and he was diagnosed with ALL, and
Mhm.
he lived to be 14. He had some very good years. He was my patient hero for most of those years, and so it was very rewarding. I was at a time when I was getting set to uh, look to retiring, and this came along, and I was also looking for, okay, what do I do, and what can I, give back? And so I became pretty active in the Chicago chapter, and you know, um, went to Washington D.C. to advocate for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and was on the national board of representatives for 3 or 4 years. So it gave me a way to give back.
Mhm. And you've had a lot of patient heroes since then.
And they contribute to my fundraising, and they're all doing well.
That's great.
So, right.
Um, and tell me about the Positive Outlook calendar. Um,
Well, that was I had already started on that um, when I started the marathon streak, and that was something I um, got inspired to do because I lost a good business associate that died suddenly of a stroke, and I was getting on the plane to go to Australia, and I thought about my three daughters and all the things that I hadn't told them, so I um, decided to put quotes in a calendar, and that was this year will be the 26th version of that calendar, which I send out to all the contributors that contribute to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
that's great. So it gives them a positive message every day.
Yes, yes. It's
And
a labor of love putting it together. Anyway, I enjoy doing it.
it's great. Um, Tell us a little bit about your marathon experience. The first marathon must have been a very different race than the marathons are today. What was it like that first one?
Well, nobody had expensive running shoes. Uh, and I had no idea what I was doing. I think maybe my longest run might have been 12 miles. And, and you know, all I learned from that first one was, oh my God, it's going to take more training. And even second and third ones, I didn't train enough. But anyway, um, I started buying running books and trying to um, get better. And the one year I ran 3:11, and I needed 3:10 to qualify for Boston, so I missed it by a minute. And I thought, oh my God, I can do this. And so the next year, I was running 65-mile weeks, and and I was so focused. But anyway, I was so lucky because at the 20-mile mark, uh, a very fit runner came by with his son, and he said, "If you want to get in under 3 hours, just stay with us." And I'm saying, oh, "Okay." So that I just tagged along with the two of them and finished in 2:59:33, which was I was 11 minutes faster than my target. So that was
11
exciting.
minutes is a long time in a marathon.
Right.
Uh,
So
and what's kept you motivated? All the time that you've been running, and you've been doing the Chicago Marathon and other marathons as well. What's kept you motivated?
well, um, I think for running anyway, the same with weightlifting. Um, you get rewards from the time you spent. You see improvement. It's getting a little harder now that I'm older, but I still know what it takes to get improvement. So it's rewarding that way. Um, but I tell people, don't do this unless you can make it enjoyable. And I look back at those years when I was working on my MBA after putting in a full day of work and had two young kids and running before going to work in the morning. I said, "You must have been nuts to do all that. What was happening?" So I don't know how I got through it.
Mm.
Anyway,
Are you more of it's interesting as runners all kind of approach it a different way, but some people like to run with a group and like that social aspect. Other people are more introspective and like to have that alone time. Which category do you fall into?
both. My God, and running in the dark and traveling on business and running. I've I've done the Sydney Harbor Walk probably 25 times. The running there and over the bridge there. So that it's great memories, but um, it's just that I do a lot of thinking, running, and once the endorphins kick in, it's there's a running high. But that's it's been rewarding for me, but it's not for everybody.
Right, right. So before you run a race, whether that be marathon or any big event, I know you've done some hikes with Team in Training as well as Century Ride.
Yeah,
Um,
for the marathon, it's the routine is always um, an English muffin with honey. So that's and whether it's superstition or whatever, I know that agrees with me.
mhm.
So, but the hikes, I mean, I'm more suited for hiking. I mean, even today, a 2-hour hike is more rewarding than forcing myself to go on a long run.
Uh-huh. And where do you hike? Where do you like to hike?
Oh, I've been hiking locally in Chicago along the Des Plaines River Trail.
Hmm.
It goes all the way to Wisconsin.
Hmm.
So there's plenty of miles to hike.
Yeah, definitely. So if somebody approaches you and says that, they'd like to try running, what advice do you give them?
Well, the first thing I tell them right off is that the research shows that there's no health benefit beyond a 40-minute run. There certainly are mental health benefits, and you can get a runner's high, and make friends by running with people. So, but I tell them, don't make it something that you don't look forward to. Make it something that you can look forward to, and that you enjoy doing it. It just shouldn't be another work thing that you've added to your life.
Hmm. And we kind of touched on it, but talk a little bit about what running has brought to your life beyond the obvious fitness and
Oh
benefits?
my gosh, all the friends I've made for running and long-term friendships, um, and opportunity to meet people and make new friends. It's been very important for
Mm,
me in my life.
it's great. Well, thank you, Ron, for spending some time with us. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Um, and yeah, you're an inspiration. So we really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
You're very welcome. Thank you.